Hello, folks. This is Alan in today's news. I will be reading and speaking about world news, interesting news to keep you entertained, and news to keep you informed. And what I got for you right here is from Newsweek. Russia admits it just suffered its worst loss ever lost. It said here, Russia this week admitted to its worst ever reported loss after it said Ukraine forces struck a base in the occupied town of Makivka, whatever, and eastern region where Russian soldiers were stationed. Russia's defense ministry said Monday that Ukraine rocket attacks one of its bases killed 63 soldiers. The casualty count in the single largest incident loss Russia has recognized since President Putin launched a full-scale invasion in Ukraine on February 24th. In a rare omission, the ministry said on its official Telegram channel that the Ukrainian military fired 6 rockets from a high-mobility artillery rocket system launched the HIMARS launch system that 2 of the missiles were shot down by air defense systems. The HIMARS system provided to Ukraine by the U.S. have a long range that other rockets in Ukraine artillery and has been credited with turning the tide of the war and allowing Ukraine to better defend its territory against Russia. The relatives and friends of the dead serviceman will be provided with all the necessary assistance and support, the ministry said. Ukrainian media, meanwhile, has estimated Russian losses in the attack was in the hundreds. And you can read the rest of this in my description box. The link will be down below. Here's one here from the Daily Digest. Surprising reasons why Putin won't use nuclear weapons against Ukraine. As Russia's war in Ukraine continues to escalate, many experts are predicting that Putin might turn to his tactical and battlefield nuclear arsenal in order to regain the initiative in the war. But there are several reasons why that might not happen, some of which might surprise you. And the world has learned anything, if the world has learned anything from Putin's invasion of Ukraine, it's that the Russian military is not the well-equipped and well-trained forces that most Western military and analysis have feared since the fall of the Soviet Union. The Russian military has performed poorly in 11 months of war, has shown that much of the equipment was not properly stored or maintained over the last 20 years, from exploding vehicle tires to rotten AK-47s to rotten 84. Nothing in the Russian arsenal seems to have been properly maintained. Does that also apply to their nukes? Probably. They should maintain them. They were relaxed for a long time. They never maintained anything. Maintaining nuclear weapons is difficult. Russia currently has a standing stockpile of 5977 warheads, with about 1,500 currently deployed, according to the BBC, and maintaining such a huge stockpile is difficult. The United States in 2021 alone spent $44.2 billion on maintenance, while Russia spent a mere $8.6 billion, according to the international campaigns to abolish nuclear weapons. How can a nation like Russia, which has 4 more nuclear weapons than the United States, keep its nuclear maintenance on a budget? just 1/5 of the American competitor. There are some evidence that Russian nuclear weapons just don't work. Back in November 2022, Putin tried and failed to test the country's new Poseidon torpedo, according to an unnamed U.S. official. In December 2022, the Kremlin admitted to another failed missile launch, this time of its Bolivia intercontinental missile. Now, you can read the rest of this in my description box, but what I say here is that if he's not taking care of these and his missiles are failing, if he used nukes, they'll probably backfire and bomb his own country. You know? Here's one from Newsweek. Russia admits it just suffered its worst ever loss. Russia this week admitted to the worst ever reported loss after it said Ukraine forces struck a base occupied a town. West Russia soldier was stationed. Russia's defense ministry said Monday that Ukraine rocket attacked one of the bases and killed 63 soldiers. You can read the rest of this in my description box. Okay, this is from Metro. Putin leaving Russians to freeze after temperature plunged to minus 46 Celsius. Putin has been accused by his own people of letting Russians freeze to death and amid the war against Ukraine. The president pumping countless rubles into military efforts some 10 months after an invasion that many expected would serve a quick Russian victory. But people in the capital city of the Russian Republic are wondering whether the money could be better spent on Russians themselves. Over the new year, temperature plummeted to a biting minus 46 Celsius at a time when energy infrastructure remained broken. If it isn't frozen solid, that is. One scarf-wrapped person said, "Why don't we have support from the state now?" They categorize, refuse to help. Among the victims are a lot of mothers and many children who simply cannot cope on their own. In the days ahead, the mercury is expected to remain in the low minus 40s, with the warmest being tomorrow at minus 37 Celsius. You can read the rest of this in my description box. Here's something from Metro. Google Chrome will stop working properly on millions of Windows PC next week. Business owners and employees still using Google's Chrome browser on an old version of Windows will need to upgrade pronto. Yeah, Microsoft is just trying to make more money, because why would they kill Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 and at the same time? You do one, maybe a year or two, you do another, it just don't make no sense. I think it's about money. Microsoft wants money. It said that's because Google is set to stop technical and security support for the browser running on Windows 7 next week. Google initially had plans to halt support on July 15, 2021, but due to the COVID-19, it pushed the deadline back first to January 15, 2022, and then to January 10, 2023. And Chrome 109 is the latest version of Chrome that will support Windows 7 and Windows 8 and 8.1. Chrome 110, scheduled for release on February 7th on 2023, is the first version of Chrome that requires Windows 10 or later, explains Google Chrome Support Manager. You'll need to ensure your device is running Windows 10 or later to continue receiving future Chrome releases. So here, Windows 7 may be old, but it's still used by millions of PCs around the world, according to statistics from netmarketshare.com. 14% of global Windows devices are still running Windows 7 in December 2021. Well, my sister had this laptop running Windows 7, and I updated it to Windows 10. I got a Windows 8.1 I'm using now, and it won't update to 10. So I had to figure out something else. I know I keep getting a warning from Google Chrome and from Microsoft Edge about updating. Well, you can read the rest of this. The link will be in my description box. Here's one from Fortune. A global recession is coming, and this is where economists predict will fare the worst. A difficult year ahead for the global economic is set to hit some countries harder than others. With 2023 upon us, many bankers, economists, and business leaders have cautioned to brace for a global economic contraction that will send many countries plunging into a recession. As much as 1/3 of the global economy could enter recession territory this year. Director, whoever this is, said over the weekend, warning of a tough year ahead of the world. I've been telling people 2023 is going to be worse than 2022, but they won't believe me. They'll find out. That here the U.S. and the EU and China will be the driving force behind the global recession, as wealthy nations will be unable to escape economic shutdowns. UK in trouble, but with the lingering effects of the pandemic, the Ukraine war continues to drag down the growth of the recession of 2023. Some developed countries are set to fare far worse than others. And you can read the rest of this in my description box. I'm trying to speed this up a little bit. Here's something here from Daily Dot. It says, I thought it was interesting. It said, catch me working all 24 hours. McDonald's worker says manager gave employees $50 an hour to get them to work during staff shortage. You wonder why your hamburger's going up, your Big Mac? It said, well, the economy seems to be slowly recovering from 2022 record inflation. Some businesses are still facing staffing shortage as the American workforce gets back on track. This has resulted in some employers utilizing this desperate measure to keep employees on board. In a video of with over 904,000 views, this TikToker says that the manager of his McDonald's offered $50 an hour to anyone willing to work on a certain day due to staff shortage. Shit, I would. He said, easiest money of my life, the caption reads. In the comment section, by many users enthusiastic about the idea of working for such high wages. Gets me working for all 24 hours, one user wrote. See, I want to go down to here. I thought was interesting. So here, according to Snoops, McDonald's employees in Denmark enjoy benefits not typically afforded to American workers, such as a starting wage of over $20 an hour and 5 weeks paid vacation. Prices also appear unaffected by these higher price wages, with a Big Mac costing approximately the same in Denmark as it does in the United States. You can read the rest of this in my description box if you want some interesting reading. This is from the Washington Examiner. Half think COVID vaccine is deadly. Nearly a third of the nation believes the COVID-19 vaccine has killed somebody they know, highlighting the safety concern the public still has about the shot. As the first family renewed their call for the country to get vaccinated, 28% of likely voters told this one reporting company that they personally know somebody they think died from the side effects of one shot. What's more, 49% of that vaccine side effects has caused unexplained deaths. One of the factors in the trending new hashtag suddenly died suddenly based on the just released documentary. Died suddenly has been criticized as promoting debunked anti-vaccine conspiracy theories, but has been seen by some 15 million people. More Democrats, by a 33% to 26% margin, believe the shot has been lethal. Still, 71% said they have received the vaccine against the coronavirus, led by Democrats 85% to just 63% of Republicans and 64% of independents. The White House, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and countless others have been making the case that the vaccine is safe as the nation faces a third possible season of the virus. But that argument is still not singleable in universal, found Russellson. For example, when asked if there are legitimate safety concerns, are the questions being raised by conspiracy theorists. 48% said they are legitimate worries. Just 37% said those are concerns are spreading conspiracy theories. And you can comment on your take on it if you want, and you can read the. Well, actually, that was the whole thing. Yeah, it was. Fox News here, it said the new Omicron subvariant XBB.1.5, what you must know. A new Omicron variant is quickly spreading across the U.S. just in time for the new year. The strain known as XBB.1.5 accounts right now for almost 41% of confirmed COVID-19 cases nationwide, according to the data of the Center for Disease Control. The XBB mutation has picked up concerning speed over the past week, as it jumped from just 21% on Christmas Eve. During the last week of December 2022, XBB.1.5 made up 75.3% of COVID-19 cases in northeastern states. Those states include Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont. In New York and New Jersey, the strain showed up in 72.2% of the cases. Also, during the last week of the year, XBB has officially replaced the previous concerning QB1 and QB.1.1 subvariants as the most common strains. Infectious disease experts are increasingly worried about the highly contagious Omicron XBB variant, according to Reuters. Ironically, probably the worst variant that the world is facing right now is actually XBB. Dr. Michael Osterholm, an infectious disease expert at the University of Minnesota, told Reuters. Will Cornell Medical College professor of microbiology and immunology, John Moore, pointed out that the previous two winters have seen larger spikes in infections that peak in mid-January. And I expect the same to happen this year, the New York-based expert says. You can read the rest of this in my description box, but I said earlier before when my newscast hit, it is spreading again. I don't care what they call it, but this is from 24/7 Wall Street. America will lose jobs by millions. Two things are certain about the American economy, and a third is somewhat certain. Inflation is still near a 4-decade high, although it has improved slightly in the past quarter. The Federal Reserve continues raising rates at breakneck speed to combat this inflation. Now, they don't know, you're raising the rates, people ain't going to be buying much. It ain't going to help the inflation, it's going to make it worse. Somebody need to call those knuckleheads up and tell them, get a brain. the rates increase likely to take the American economy into recession, and the jobless rate will move well below 4% currently to the 5% to 7% range over the next year. The range of unemployment increases mean millions of people will be out of work soon, as the most certain path to an inflation rate that has been normal in the past. You can read the rest of this. My discussion box. This is pissing me off. These people the feds are stupid. They need to fire everybody there and get somebody that has the brains to work for them. And anyway, comment, like, share. Give me your thoughts. Until tomorrow, later.